Then the word of God came to Adam, and said unto him, O Adam, why didn't you have this dread, neither this fasting, nor the care for this? And why hadst you not this fear before you did transgress? But when thou camest to dwell in this strange land, thy animal body could not be on earth without earthly food, to strengthen it and to restore its powers. And God withdrew his word from Adam. Then Adam took the fig, and laid it on the golden rods. Eve also took her fig, and put it upon the incense. And the weight of each fig was that of a watermelon, for the fruit of the garden was much larger than the fruit of this land. But Adam and Eve remained standing and fasting the whole of that night, until the morning dawned. When the sun rose they were at their prayers, and Adam said to Eve, after they had done praying, O Eve, come, let us go to the border of the garden looking south, to the place where the river flows, and is parted into 4 heads. There we will pray to God, and ask him to give us to drink of the water of life. For God has not fed us with the tree of life, in order that we may not live. We will, therefore, ask him to give us of the water of life, and to quench our thirst with it, rather than with a drink of water of this land. When Eve heard these words from Adam, she agreed, and they both arose and came to the southern border of the garden, upon the brink of the river of water at some little distance from the garden. And they stood and prayed before the Lord, and asked him to look upon them this once, to forgive them, and to grant them their request. After this prayer from both of them, Adam began to pray with his voice before God, and said, O Lord, when I was in the garden and saw the water that flowed from under the tree of life, my heart did not desire, neither did my body require to drink of it, neither did I know thirst, for I was living, and above that which I am now. So that in order to live I did not require any food of life, neither did I drink of the water of life. But now, O God, I am dead, my flesh is parched with thirst. Give me of the water of life that I may drink of it and live. Of your mercy, O God, save me from these plagues and trials, and bring me into another land different from this, if you will not let me dwell in your garden. Then came the word of God to Adam, and said to him, O Adam, as to what thou sayest, bring me into a land where there is rest, it is not another land than this, but it is the kingdom of heaven where alone there is rest. But you cannot make your entrance into it at present, but only after the judgment is past and fulfilled. Then will I make thee go up into the kingdom of heaven, thee and thy righteous seed, and I will give thee and them the rest thou askest for at present. And if thou saidst, Give me of the water of life that I may drink and live. It cannot be this day, but on the day that I shall descend into hell, and break the gates of brass, and bruise in pieces the kingdoms of iron. Then will I in mercy save thy soul and the souls of the righteous, to give them rest in my garden. And that shall be when the end of the world is come. And, again, as regards the water of life thou seekest, it will not be granted thee this day, but on the day that I shall shed my blood upon thy head in the land of Golgotha. For my blood shall be the water of life unto thee, at that time, and not to thee alone, but unto all those of thy seed who shall believe in me, that it be unto them for rest forever. The Lord said again unto Adam, O Adam, when you were in the garden, these trials did not come to thee. But since thou didst transgress my commandment, all these sufferings have come upon thee. Now, also, does thy flesh require food and drink? Drink then of that water that flows by thee on the face of the earth. Then God withdrew his word from Adam. And Adam and Eve worshipped the Lord, and returned from the river of water to the cave. It was noonday, and when they drew near to the cave, they saw a large fire by it. Then Adam and Eve were afraid, and stood still. And Adam said to Eve, What is that fire by our cave? We do nothing in it to bring about this fire. We neither have bread to bake therein, nor broth to cook there. As to this fire, we know not the like, neither do we know what to call it. But ever since God sent the cherub with a sword of fire that flashed and lightened in his hand, from fear of which we fell down and were like corpses, have we not seen the like. But now, O Eve, behold, this is the same fire that was in the cherub's hand, which God has sent to keep the cave in which we dwell. O Eve, it is because God is angry with us, and will drive us from it. O Eve, we have again transgressed his commandment in that cave, so that he had sent this fire to burn around it, and to prevent us from going into it. If this be really so, O Eve, where shall we dwell? And whither shall we flee from before the face of the Lord? Since, as regards the garden, he will not let us abide in it, and he has deprived us of the good things thereof, but he has placed us in this cave, in which we have borne darkness, trials, and hardships, until at last we found comfort therein. But now that he has brought us out into another land, who knows what may happen in it? And who knows but that the darkness of that land may be far greater than the darkness of this land? Who knows what may happen in that land by day or by night? And who knows whether it will be far or near, O Eve? Where it will please God to put us, may be far from the garden, O Eve. Or where God will prevent us from beholding him, because we have transgressed his commandment, and because we have made requests unto him at all times. O Eve, if God will bring us into a strange land other than this, in which we find consolation, it must be to put our souls to death, and blot out our name from the face of the earth. O Eve, if we are farther estranged from the garden and from God, where shall we find him again, and ask him to give us gold, incense, myrrh, and some fruit of the fig tree? Where shall we find him, to comfort us a second time? Where shall we find him, that he may think of us, as regards the covenant he has made on our behalf? Then Adam said no more. And they kept looking, he and Eve, towards the cave, and at the fire that flared up around it. But that fire was from Satan. For he had gathered trees and dry grasses, and had carried and brought them to the cave, and had set fire to them, in order to consume the cave and what was in it. So that Adam and Eve should be left in sorrow, and he should cut off their trust in God, and make them deny him. But by the mercy of God he could not burn the cave, for God sent his angel round the cave to guard it from such a fire, until it went out. And this fire lasted from noonday until the break of day. That was the 45th day. Yet Adam and Eve were standing and looking at the fire, and unable to come near the cave from their dread of the fire. And Satan kept on bringing trees and throwing them into the fire, until the flame thereof rose up on high, and covered the whole cave, thinking, as he did in his own mind, to consume the cave with much fire. But the angel of the Lord was guarding it. And yet he could not curse Satan, nor injure him by word, because he had no authority over him, neither did he take to doing so with words from his mouth. Therefore did the angel bear with him, without saying one bad word, until the word of God came, who said to Satan, Go hence, once before didst thou deceive my servants, and this time thou seekest to destroy them. Were it not for my mercy I would have destroyed thee and thy hosts from off the earth. But I have had patience with thee, unto the end of the world. Then Satan fled from before the Lord. But the fire went on burning around the cave like a coal fire the whole day, which was the 46th day Adam and Eve had spent since they came out of the garden. And when Adam and Eve saw that the heat of the fire had somewhat cooled down, they began to walk towards the cave to get into it as they were wont, but they could not, by reason of the heat of the fire. Then they both took to weeping because of the fire that made separation between them and the cave, and that drew towards them, burning. And they were afraid. Then Adam said to Eve, See this fire of which we have a portion in us, which formerly yielded to us, but no longer does so, now that we have transgressed the limit of creation, and changed our condition, and our nature is altered. But the fire is not changed in its nature, nor altered from its creation. Therefore has it now power over us, and when we come near it, it scorches our flesh. Then Adam rose and prayed unto God, saying, See, this fire has made separation between us and the cave in which thou hast commanded us to dwell, but now, behold, we cannot go into it. Then God heard Adam, and sent him his word, that said, O Adam, see this fire. How different the flame and heat thereof are from the garden of delights and the good things in it. When thou wast under my control, all creatures yielded to thee, but after thou hast transgressed my commandment, they all rise over thee. Again said God unto him, See, O Adam, how Satan has exalted thee. He has deprived thee of the Godhead, and of an exalted state like unto me, and has not kept his word to thee, but, after all, is become thy foe. It is he who made this fire in which he meant to burn thee and Eve. Why, O Adam, has he not kept his agreement with thee, not even one day, but has deprived thee of the glory that was on thee when thou didst yield to his command? Thinkest thou, Adam, that he loved thee when he made this agreement with thee? Or, that he loved thee and wished to raise thee on high? But no, Adam, he did not do all that out of love to thee, but he wished to make thee come out of light into darkness, and from an exalted state to degradation, from glory to abasement, from joy to sorrow, and from rest to fasting and fainting. God said also to Adam, See this fire kindled by Satan around thy cave, see this wonder that surrounds thee, and know that it will encompass about both thee and thy seed, when ye hearken to his behest, that he will plague you with fire, and that ye shall go down into hell after ye are dead. Then shall ye see the burning of his fire, that will thus be burning around you and your seed. There shall be no deliverance from it for you, but at my coming, in like manner as thou canst not now go into thy cave, by reason of the great fire around it, not until my word shall come that will make a way for thee on the day my covenant is fulfilled. There is no way for thee at present to come from hence to rest, not until my word comes, who is my word. Then will he make a way for thee, and thou shalt have rest. Then God called with his word to that fire that burned around the cave, that it part itself asunder, until Adam had gone through it. Then the fire parted itself by God's order, and a way was made for Adam. And God withdrew his word from Adam.